all these things nourish our life. Water is one god, air is another god. This may look silly and somebody may think, there is one god, how can you make up all these things?
This is Sadhguru explaining his efforts to help the Cauvery River prevent Tamil Nadu turning into a desert.
One god was made up by you. Water was not made by you, air was not made by you, soil was not made by you. Hello? One god was made up by human beings. Water we did not make. Because it's there, we are there. Yes or no? Even now, if we want to look for life somewhere in another planet, what are we looking for? God or a drop of water? We're looking for a drop of water. See, when you say Cauvery, it's a woman's name. There are thousands and thousands of women in India whose name is Cauvery. When I did Cauvery Calling movement, I told everybody wherever I went, this year, in this village, if you have a girl child, she must be called Cauvery. Because you need some emotion to protect something. Human beings protect whatever they're emotional about. They don't protect those things that they don't care about. If you don't have that, if you're just seeing water as just a resource, see, resource means use and throw. This is what the modern world has become. They're treating soil as a resource, water as a resource. No, these are all life-making material. This is very interesting. 831 or 32 kilometers is the length of the river. Exactly at the midpoint, I'm talking about over 6,000, 7,000 years ago, he fixed the midpoint and built a midpoint temple. And on either side, every 12 kilometers, they built a temple, both sides. Why all this is? Even then, they knew in future there will be danger to these rivers. When nothing was in any kind of trouble, the entire southern India was a thick rainforest. And they said, water should come up this much, then you perform this ritual. If it comes up that much, you perform that ritual. If it doesn't come up, you perform another ritual. All this to make you aware that whether it's working or not. We forgot all that. Now Cauvery is drying up 175 kilometers inland in summers, up to 4 to 4.5 months. It's drying up. You said you travel to delta. Delta farmers did not refer to their soil as soil. Always they were very proud and they called soil as gold. Thango, they say. But now, because they were growing 4 crops in a year and they were the richest farmers in the entire region, but today they're growing only 1 crop, because 4.5 months there is no delta, there's no river, so where is the delta? Sand mafia is… Probably in America you cannot understand what is 12,000 years. 12,000 years ago, they built a port at the Cauvery Delta point, where Roman ships, Greek ships, Arabian ships, Chinese ships, there is substantial evidence to even today show this. All this happened because of the prosperity that Cauvery brought to their life. And now Cauvery Calling this year is planting 23 million trees in farmers' land. This is not afforestation, this is tree-based agriculture. Cauvery basin is about 83,000 square kilometers, 5.2 million farmers which we are working with. It's going very well in one state, in another state it's going a little slow. 23 million trees looks like big, but what we want to plant is 2.42 billion trees. So when is this going to happen? In 100 years? It needs to happen in the next 6 to 8 years. When we showed the scale of our project and we said this is a sample project we have done, UNCCD, who is our partner in this whole affair, looks at it and says, this is not a sample, this is the largest project on the planet right now. They think it is the largest. I think it's not enough. One generation will have to suffer seriously before we turn around. I don't think that is an intelligent way to do things. Preempting problems is the way of the human being. So we divided life like this in ancient India. There are those people who are deeply invested in knowing, and those people who are good with action, execution. So the kings that you're talking about are execution people. The knowing people are sages and saints. Even today in our history books, unfortunately not the school history books, if you look at the other social history that is written, sages and saints in our society stand out much bigger than kings and emperors, because the knowing came from them. The wealth people have forgotten, in 100 years they've just lost the sense of what is democracy. Democracy means, in this country 4 years, in India 5 years, every 4 years you're supposed to reconsider your position about the people you have elected. See, have they done well or not? We should give them another chance, or we should bring somebody else. But no, you're already determined which party you belong to, so you'll anyway vote the same fools, it doesn't matter what they do. In India, I spoke about this in the media and everybody hates me for this. Because I'm not planning to stand for an election, I can be unpopular, you know. I said, one thing, if you want to save India's democracy, you must remove party membership. Why are you Republican means my father was Republican, my grandfather was Republican, whatever, those kind of things. This is not democracy, this is tribal. This is very tribal. I belong to this tribe, I can't change it because I'm born there. Democracy means every 4 years you must be willing to reconsider everything based on performance. No, party should not win, country should win, isn't it? That's the idea. But because of this, whatever science may be there, whatever knowledge may be there, that doesn't get implemented. Those days, one thing is the sage who was there was deeply respected by the king, literally worshipping him. If the emperor comes, he will sit there on the floor in front of the sage. Now when he said something, he just went and implemented, no two ways about it. So these things were built because they are clearly… the sages clearly understood, without emotional involvement of people, nothing can be protected for long term. So there is no the God in the East. Anything, if it rises beyond a certain level of performance, we'll say that is divine. Sports people, you don't know cricket. How can you travel to India and not know cricket? All these men here, they think, no cricket, you're not living. There is a cricketer called Sachin Tendulkar. People call him cricketing god. Very appropriate. If somebody excels beyond what we considered as normal limitations for a human being, then we say he is godlike. Right now there is such a lack of respect and reverence to all the things that make our life. Whether it is our soil or our rivers or our mountains or trees or people around us, lack of reverence is crime.
If you disagree in the comments. Otherwise, you know what to do.